Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day around here. It is time for another awesome episode of EP Live, which we shoot live on location at the VFS Cafe, which is right down at 390 West Hastings Street in Vancouver, British Columbia. It is open to the public, and we welcome anyone that wants to come and watch the show. We've got an incredible guest today. His name is Brian Provinciano, and we're going to check out his brand new game called Shakedown Hawaii. And this represents a first for the show. It's the first time that a developer is bringing their game to EP before it's released to the public, and we're going to get a chance to play through it and talk all about it. It's not coming out for a little while, and it already looks incredible because Brian has been a busy bee working on this kind of 16-bit version of a Grand Theft Auto experience. Can't wait to talk about that, but we've got a rundown to get through first, and our dedication today is for Horizon Dawn, who said simply, "Oh, cool," with a tiny little happy face. So there you go. That's what got you today's rundown. It's the end of an era over at Nintendo of America. President Reggie Fils-Aimé has announced that he's retiring. Reggie first joined Nintendo of America back in 2003 and became president in 2006, overseeing the hugely successful launch of the original Wii, not to mention the Wii U, 3DS, and Switch. As president, Reggie has become very well known to fans thanks to hosting many E3 keynotes and Nintendo Direct presentations, as well as appearing in various silly web videos and memes. He'll be replaced by the appropriately named Doug Bowser. Do we have to start making like an evil laugh sound after we say Doug Bowser? The current senior vice president of sales and marketing. Bowser has been with Nintendo since 2015 and has previously stated his desire to make the Switch a mainstream system targeting casual players and non-gamers rather than just hardcore fans. He'll take over when Reggie officially steps down on April 15th. That news came out of the blue yesterday, and I think it shocked and rippled the entire industry because Reggie's not an old guy. He's not like he's not in his 60s, he's in his 50s, and he's only been with Nintendo for 15 years, which does sound like a long time, but he's become so connected with the brand that it's just hard to imagine a Nintendo without Reggie. Now, I've been covering Nintendo stuff for 25 years, and I remember Peter Main and Howard Lincoln, and there's been lots of great personalities that I have known, Ron Bertram here in Canada, that I've known at Nintendo for a long time, so I associate the brand with a lot of people, Perrin Kaplan and Beth Llewellyn, that don't work there anymore. But it's interesting how the torch gets passed. And from all accounts, Doug Bowser is a really, really cool guy. I'm looking forward to interviewing him. But I'm going to miss Reggie. Reggie had a huge personality. And what was interesting about Reggie is when you got him off camera, like when we went to Nintendo of America to shoot stuff or to go for events or whatever, he was very low-key and very enthusiastic and very into all the products that his teams were building. He really believed it. And I don't think it was like a Kool-Aid thing. I think he was just incredibly proud of the work that Nintendo, and as he should be, of the work that Nintendo's developers have been providing the world, making games that are legitimately fun. And he did some good work and was associated with some really, really big launches. So it's cool that he's leaving on a high note for him personally, but I'm sad that he's not going to be there. And boy, E3 is weird this year. It's going to be weird, man. No PlayStation, no Reggie. Strange, crazy. All right, well, speaking of Nintendo, Star Fox 2 was finally released in 2017, and now after another long-lost piece of gaming history is coming out for the first time. The canceled side-scrolling shooter Hardcore from Swedish developer Digital Illusions, also known as DICE, is about to get its first official release. Retro game company Analog has announced that a digital copy of the game will come pre-installed on their new Mega SG console, which is a recreation of the 16-bit Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive. Hardcore is a Contra-style shooter that DICE worked on in 1994, long before they created the Battlefield series and were subsequently bought by EA. They almost finished it, but unfortunately it was canceled at the last minute by their publisher Psygnosis, which felt that a 16-bit game just wouldn't sell after gaming had started to enter the 3D era. This isn't the first time Analog has dug up. A long dead game. They included the previously unreleased Super Turrican Director's Cut on their SNES throwback, the Super NT, which I own and I love. The Analog Mega SG hit stores in April, and I'm definitely getting one of those. And it's all based on just the fetishistic quality of the Super NT, plugging in cartridges and playing them in through HDMI on an OLED display, which is how I play all my games right now, is just breathtaking. It's absolutely incredible to see the just pitch black space of these beautiful sprite-based games is incredible. And I've got a nice collection of Super Nintendo stuff, but I've also got a nice collection of Sega Genesis cartridges, so I'm really looking forward to having just that perfect precision, that beautiful sprite, clarity on my 4K set. I can't wait for that. They've done an awesome job with the Super NT, and I think they're going to do an awesome job with the Mega SG. I'll have a review for that when I do finally get one of those things. And I think it's awesome that they're digging into gaming's history and finding titles and bringing them back to people. I think that's terrific. One of the cool things that they did with Super Turrican is they actually had a box for the game that you could fold up, and it's an old Super Nintendo box, and you can put it on your shelf, which is just awesome. Super fired up for that. Analog, you rock. Now, Netflix is going to scare audiences with more from The Haunting of Hill House. Well, sort of. The streaming giant has officially renewed their hit horror series for a second season. It won't be taking audiences back to Hill House, though. Netflix has instead decided to make the show an anthology series, so each season will focus on new characters and new locations. While season 1 was based on the gothic Haunting of Hill House novel by author Shirley Jackson, season 2 will be based on another gothic horror novel, The Turn of the Screw by author Henry James. As for the title, the new season will be called The Haunting of Bly Manor, so expect future seasons all to have The Haunting in their title as well. No word yet on casting, but we do know that the same creative team, led by producers Mike Flanagan and Trevor Macy, will be back behind the camera. Season 2 lands next year. I am not a huge horror guy. I like it when it's really, really good, like great filmmaking. I love the Conjuring movies that James Wan put together for us, but I don't go nuts for horror stuff. I've heard The Haunting of Hill House, however, is fantastic, and I definitely have to watch it. And I've heard that you don't watch it right before you go to bed. I heard that you have all kinds of nightmares if you do watch the show, and I know how difficult it is to create horror in a serialized form, where you've got to come back after episode, because horror movies, traditionally, you get 90 minutes, everybody's dead except for the one lady in her underwear who somehow survives, right? That's how when you write the scripts, that's how you do it. But I think with a show, and I was encountering this with Night Flyers as I was watching it, I just wasn't scared. It was like, well, somebody's going to die, but it's going to be like the red shirt, and then nobody's really going to care. And that was canceled. So it's hard to do, and that had George R.R. Martin attached to it, and it was a horror thing canceled. So it's hard to do horror right, and The Haunting of Hill House clearly has been doing horror right, so I have to get my butt on a sofa and watch this show, and congrats to the creative team that they're getting to do more. So hopefully it will be equally as good as season 1 has. Now, something big is happening this weekend. I don't know if you've heard about this thing. It's a little show called The Oscars, where they talk about big hit movies, and they give awards, little naked gold men, out to famous people. Lots of big movies are nominated for these titles, and I've seen some of them. I haven't seen all of them. Still haven't seen Green Book. Still have not watched Roma, and I know that those are front runners and picks for a lot of people. But I thought I did see a lot of movies, both for Electric Playground and for Film Fury in 2018, and I thought I'd run down my 5 favorite films from last year. And I'm going to start with number 5, which is Isle of Dogs from Fox. Wes Anderson. Thought this movie was hilarious and so intricately put together. Wes Anderson is completely focused on straight angles on his shots, and it was just a phenomenal movie. It's an animated stop-motion movie, but you have to watch it. My number 4 pick is Deadpool 2, which is probably nowhere near, well, it's probably near a couple of nominations, but it's probably a little too raunchy for a lot of the voting academy there, but I love that movie. It was hilarious, a love letter to Vancouver as well, which is where Ryan Reynolds is from, and the action was incredible, and all the performances were terrific, And it had heart as well. You know, it had lots and lots of fantastic stuff to dig into, and I thought that they had a lot to overcome with the success of Deadpool 1 and all of our expectations, but I think they did do that. Deadpool 2 is terrific. No need to watch that silly PG-rated Deadpool 2, though. That's nuts. Number 3 for me was Annihilation. This was from, the guy's name is escaping me right now. Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina, which is a terrific sci-fi flick with Oscar Isaac, but this one starred Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh. I think Oscar Isaac is in this one as well. Lots of creepy stuff happens in this. It's got a little bit of a horror vibe, but the sci-fi streak is amazing, and there's just some really twisted visuals that we don't normally see in science fiction. Nothing is clean in this movie. Everything gets kind of distorted and mixed up. It makes you feel unnerved, but there is this organic kind of truth about the way they put it all together, and I just thought it was risky and cool and looked absolutely incredible on the big screen. I could say that too about Avengers: Infinity War, which is number 2, and you guys knew that this was going to be on my list. What a powerful movie! A movie where Josh Brolin, again, 2 in my top 5 starred Josh Brolin, which is amazing. But as Thanos, is as powerful as this menagerie of incredible actors playing incredible superheroes, and Thanos is the heart and soul of that film. And it's got this really kind of morose, freaked out, sad ending that is just devastating and so artful. And with all of those actors trying to balance some screen time and get some lines of dialogue in it, the Russo brothers pulled off a miracle. Amazing movie. And I would say the same thing about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I had animators on the show already. I was very effusive about this beautiful film that Sony put together with Phil Lord and Chris Miller producing it, a bevy of directors working on it, and animation that we had never seen before. And I love the movie for a number of reasons: the authenticity of it, the music in it, all of these different styles of animation. But I love it most of all because it's a true love letter to comic books, to the medium of comic books. It looks like a comic book, and it doesn't shy away from it at all. And I thought that was so incredible to sit down and watch it. I got emotional watching it, and I watched it with comic book creators beside me who were equally emotional, and it was just an incredible film. Love that movie. 2 runners-up. Both starring Michael B. Jordan. Black Panther, I thought that was sensational and unique and important and cool and great action. Michael B. Jordan was phenomenal in there, but everybody, all the cast was just so powerful. But I also love Michael B. Jordan in Creed 2, which was, again, another fantastic story from a different slant. And of course, they had the Dolph Lundgren, "We are Russian, we'll break you," cheeseball accents and stuff. That was fun and kitschy and cool, but Sylvester Stallone broke my heart in that movie, and I was just floored by the emotional weight of a Rocky movie, which was a Creed movie, and I thought it was kind of crazy that I was that invested in it, but I've been watching Rocky movies for like half my life, and it was just an amazing escape for me to see all of that and to see Sylvester Stallone age out like that. Amazing. So there are, I guess, 7 of my favorite movies of 2018. Good luck to all the nominated people out there, and it's a shame that more of my top 5 wasn't in the best films of the year.